Right, so we're sharing out to the executive group. I had full control marked, and what I was explaining at the end of the last video is that full control is really for administrators. That allows administrators to share to other people. If we allow the executives here in this group to do that, then they can take it on their own to share stuff. That could be a good idea if you have someone who understands network administration, or it could be a complete fiasco if the individuals start sharing things out on their own. So even though we could do that, we're not going to. We're going to leave them at modify, which gives them read and execute and the ability to modify. And that's plenty. So we say okay, and then when we do that, then the security permissions are applied. We can go into our workstation here. This is an exec workstation. And then let me log out here. I'm logged in as administrator. But what we want to do is check our rights. So of course I've completely forgotten the username here. James Marcello. So that's it's going to be James M. So here it remembers the last login, but we want to change that. We want to log in as an other user. That's important. And then here you can see it's signing into the target domain. There will be times when you don't see that. You want to make sure that it is there. I'll have another video on changing domains when we get into logging in locally versus logging in with the domain account. For now, we're fine. James M. The account doesn't have to be match the case. It's not case sensitive, but the password is. So you might notice that I have a lowercase m there. Just have to type my password in right. So there we go. We're logging in as James Marcello. Now this is a first time login, so it's going to take some time. I'm going to pause this. So here's another interesting thing. It's the first time login, and then an update was applied. So you can see my CPU is redlining at 99%. Computer's operating really slowly. I thought I'd just show you what the task manager looks like when that happens. So that way you can be ready for this when this happens in your cyber range. You can even see down here that it's the Microsoft OneDrive setup that's doing this. It was up at 90% and then it's sort of coming on down. We're back. You can see that the CPU resource has calmed down here. So the computer's responsive again. One more thing is I ran the task manager actually inside the virtual machine. So that one shows the actual resources that are in the VBox itself. So let's take a look at our file share. Now, I want to have this be server. And one of the things that I found out here is that if we go back to the server and look at the system properties, I've got this name here, the WinMot 975. That's that horrific machine name that was randomly generated by the setup. So in order to find that machine, I have to use what's called the Universal Naming Convention. When we do this on the web, we usually type www blah blah blah.com. In the UNC, we do // and then we put the name of the computer in there, which is WIN. And you can see here that all my available machines do pop up. If you're working fast and you just rebooted the machine, it might take a while to update. And there could be a lot of machines in there. So, that doesn't always work, but I'm going to spell it out. I have it down here, the WinMot. So I'm going to type winmot, W-I-N, and you can see there is the machine. I do a slash, and these are my file shares that are available. So I'm going to go to execs, and you can see that I now have access to that folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder called mine. Remember that we're actually logged in as James. When I take a look at it on the server on another computer, you can see that we are sharing the file. Both computers on the network can see the change. There's my files folder, there's exec, and there's my mine folder. So James is a busy executive. He's creating folders. And then you can see them being changed on the other machine. So other people will be able to see stuff as soon as you make changes. Now, as an executive, James is unlikely to know the UNC. As a network administrator and as a hacker, you're going to need to know how to do this because that's the way you're going to navigate your network. But for our regular users, we have to make it easy for them. So what we can do here is we can make we can share the drive. It's in here somewhere. So the file share is available not from the actual folders, but you have to go to PC, this PC. And then you can see that there's a computer menu option that you can drop down, and then you can see the map the network drive. So you want to make a note of that you have to go to the computer in the Explorer in order to map network drives. So we're going to map the network drive, and we can pick almost any drive letter. It's alphabetical. You can have like 26 letters. And this is the exec folder, right? So why not pick E for exec? Having a drive letter this early in the alphabet might present a problem if we're putting USB drives in there and CD-ROMs, maybe more hard drives or more volumes or partitions. The letters will get all funky. I mean, really, we should leave E available to the user. Otherwise, when they put in the USB, it could be an H drive, for example. I could be overthinking this, but I just wanted to mention that while we're here. So here again, we type in our UNC. Here's where we have to actually know the machine name. I knew it would be useful to be able to hand type it. I'm going to change all this back to server when I get a chance. So we'll see if that actually breaks our drive mapping. Win dash MOT 975 1 B7 HR / execs. Now, if I did that right, we can browse to it. Sweet. Now it can't complain because it did it. So there it is. It pops up. You can see it's the E drive, and then you have this whole mess here. You now know that's the universal naming conventions. You don't have to be worried about it. And when we look at this PC, you could see there's the C, there's the D, and here we have the E. So now all you have to do is like open that. And then we could make this even easier for James by right-clicking that and dragging a shortcut, creating a shortcut on the desktop. So now when James logs in, He'll have his drive mapping right there. He just double clicks it and up comes his folders that he can share with other people. And he can see what the other execs have shared. So there you go.